This would be a great place to open a bar. A friend of mine used to say that if we were sitting at a bar and the bartender was a little slow with our next round, but sadly over the last year in Pennsylvania, all of these wonderful bar structures have sat idle, even while food was being served around them. You as a restaurant and bar owner have probably had to make some very difficult decisions about your business over the last year, in many cases on the fly and in many cases reacting to rapidly changing circumstances. Hello everyone, my name is Tom Riley and I'm here today to share with you information about a proactive decision that you want to make if in fact you're a bar or restaurant owner operating off a pre-1949 H or hotel license. There's a special classification of licenses in Pennsylvania for hotel licenses that existed prior to 1949 and where proper exemptions were filed many years ago to allow the restaurant and bar to continue to use the license even though the hotel structure around the restaurant was no longer used. Although this place looks very modern, it was remodeled in the last 15 years. It's in a building that's over 200 years old, and this bar has been serving patrons for over 200 years. Back when people would come through the dusty streets across the porch into the bar and say to the bartender, "Whiskey," and leave the bottle. A lot's changed since then, but the bar, the structure of the bar, the spirit of the bar has remained the same. But you're probably at a point in your career where you're saying, what's the future of this business for me and this location for me? One of the problems with an H license that doesn't exist with an R or restaurant license is that hotel license can't be moved. The building and the license are merged into one. If you had an R license or restaurant license, you could sell the building to one person to use for an entirely different purpose and sell the R license or restaurant license to someone used somewhere else within the same county as where you're currently located. In many cases, those licenses sell for 6 figures. The hotel license or H license doesn't have that same value. But for a limited period of time, over the next 2 years, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has passed a law that says current H license holders, pre-1949 H or hotel license owners, that make application can convert that H license to an R license. Now the good news is it doesn't change anything. You'll continue operating out of your current structure as long as you choose to. But at some point in time, whether it be tomorrow or next week or 10 years from now, you decide you want to sell the business, you'll be able to sell the restaurant license, the R license, to someone who uses it across town and sell the building structure to somebody else. You're saying this sounds too good to be true, and it might be. Because in order to qualify for the privilege of converting your license from an H license to an R license, there is a filing fee of $30,000. You heard me correctly, $30,000. And if you transfer the license within 5 years of when you make the conversion, there's a second fee that you need to pay. That's equal to 25% of the price you sell the license for, or another $30,000, whichever is greater. So the decision to convert from an H license to an R license isn't an easy one because there's a great deal of money involved in the conversion. It also could take a license that has very little independent value and turn it into an asset, perhaps a retirement asset as you decide to segue out of the business, that has a pretty great value, so it's something you need to think about. But you also have to think about what's going to happen if you sell the R license. My guess is you're probably working out of a building right now, if you have an H license, a pre-1949 H license, that's probably old. As I said, in this case, the building's 200 years old. These buildings require a lot of maintenance and a lot of ongoing care. And at some point in time, the building structure may not make sense. So if the H license is tied to a building that no longer exists, you don't have any value at all. Conversely, if you sell your R license across town and then try to find a buyer for your building, you may find that a building without the ability to sell booze is worth far less than the building with that H license. So there's a great number of decisions you need to make, and fortunately you have time to do it. But I suggest strongly you talk to your accountant, you talk to a real estate appraiser, and you talk to your lawyer and find out from those professionals the pros and cons, the ups and downs of making a decision to convert your H license to an R license. If you're interested, my colleague Jason Ulrich and his team of talented young people will be happy to assist you in that process. While you're focusing on the future of the intangible asset that is your hotel liquor license and what you're going to do in the future, I'm going to hang here a little while until the bar reopens. I think I'm going to focus on the short-term liquid assets. Thank you for your time this time. Until next time, my name is Tom Riley.